When you first step out of bed, is your heel pain or plantar fasciitis pain super painful? If this sounds like you and your plantar fasciitis is super inflamed and painful right now, stop doing those exercises that tell you to balance on one leg barefoot or jumping on your feet. Instead, I'm going to show you what you should do if your heel pain or plantar fasciitis pain is very acute and painful right now, so you can get that instant pain relief. Since this is my second video on plantar fasciitis, if you want a more detailed overview on plantar fasciitis and learn more about what causes plantar fasciitis in the first place and some more intermediate exercises for plantar fasciitis, you can check out this video that I'll link up here. Let's keep this video short and sweet, so if you like this type of video where I ramble on less in the beginning, be sure to hit the like button below so I know this is your preferred format of videos. So without further ado, let's dive straight into what you came here for, what you should do to get your plantar fasciitis or heel pain to feel better fast with some super simple exercises. The first thing that I like to get my clients to do if their plantar fascia feels very painful and inflamed is to start doing hot and cold therapy, or you can call it contrast therapy. You can have 2 tubs of water, one filled with warm water and the other filled with ice water. Start by submerging your foot into the warm water tub for 4 minutes, and then switch your foot into the ice water tub for 1 minute. A general guideline I like to tell my clients is to alternate between the 2 tubs 4 times for a total of 20 minutes. If the idea of having 2 tubs of water is too messy for you, you can always mimic the same effect by alternating the temperature on your plantar fascia with a heating pad and an ice pack. So this essentially does the exact same thing, but you get to stay dry while you're doing it. So this is typically a good start for a lot of my clients if their plantar fascia is super painful and inflamed, because the heat helps to increase the circulation and blood flow to the area, which can reduce cramping and stiffness. Heat can also help to loosen up the plantar fascia, which can then make the exercises that I'm about to show you more effective. We contrast the heat with the ice, which typically works well to help us numb that nasty heel pain for that rapid pain relief without the use of any drugs. This is usually an easy thing to do if you're going to be sitting there watching TV, or even if you're working at home on your laptop. The 4 minutes of heat to 1 minute of ice is just a rough guidance, so feel free to adjust that as you see fit. The next thing that I like to get my clients to do is the interlaced toe circles. This exercise is like doing ankle circles, but with an extra twist by interlacing your fingers with your toes. This exercise helps to improve the mobility between your toes, and I like to get my clients to do it first up and down for 1 minute, then doing ankle circles with the fingers still interlaced in a clockwise direction for 1 minute, and then also doing the same thing in the counterclockwise direction for another minute. So this exercise helps to warm up the foot and ankle and plantar fascia. Bringing circulation and blood flow is key for most injuries now based on the latest research, because we actually need that blood flow and circulation to promote healing. The research now tells us that we don't want to rely on ice and rest to heal an injury anymore if we want the most effective treatment plan. Again, another super simple exercise you can do if you were just watching television at night, or even if you were having a Zoom meeting, since no one can see what you're doing underneath your desk. This next exercise I'm going to show you have probably found on the internet, and that is foot rolling with a ball, or you could call it self-myofascial release of your foot intrinsics and plantar fascia. You can do this foot rolling exercise with a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, or even a dog toy you may have kicking around in the house. The self-massage technique will help to reduce the tension in your foot and help to improve tissue pliability throughout your foot intrinsic muscles, as well as to help you desensitize your nervous system. If you don't know what desensitizing your nervous system means, what I am talking about is that any kind of pain when it is chronic, say you've been in pain for months or years, a lot of times your nervous system can play a role in heightening that pain response, where you feel a lot more pain than you should be feeling. This is a very common phenomenon because if your pain is very severe, you have likely been avoiding putting pressure on that area or using that area. So the body doesn't know how to react when you do have to use it or when you do have to put pressure on it. Most of the time, it gives you that extreme pain response. So if your heel pain or plantar fasciitis is extremely inflamed and painful right now, and you've had this pain for a while, this exercise will help to gently desensitize your nervous system and at the same time help to promote circulation and blood flow to the area. The key to this exercise is to be gentle, and this is especially true if you're currently in a lot of pain. So put as much pressure as you can tolerate without aggravating your current symptoms, and gradually with time, you should be able to tolerate more pressure as you continue working on it. So to roll the bottom of your foot, you can do it either seated or standing. So super simple, all you do is just place the ball of your choice under the arch of your foot, and then you're gonna roll your foot over that ball with a pressure that you can tolerate. If you find a tender spot, feel free to hang out in that area gently for 30 seconds, and then move on to another area of your foot as you continue to roll your foot on the ball. And do it continuously for 1 to 2 minutes. This is yet another super simple exercise you can do during your Zoom meetings or when you're working at your desk or watching your favorite TV show at night. See, I'm keeping my promise about easy exercises this time. The next exercise is the banded big toe stretch. This exercise helps us to improve the mobility and flexibility between your big toe and your little toes. I wanted to add this exercise in because I got some questions regarding bunions and plantar fasciitis in my last video. So if that was you who asked me for exercises for both bunions and plantar fasciitis, this is the exercise you gotta start doing to help with both conditions. As you can see, I do check your comments regularly, so keep those great questions coming. With this exercise, you want a strong resistance band and you want to make a tiny loop with it, or if you want to get creative, you can use a couple hair ties. So you can either make a tiny loop with a resistance band, so it's super small, or the hair ties. I like to do this exercise standing because you have a better feel for the ground. But if your plantar fascia is super painful, you can also do it seated. Just make sure both of your feet stay planted on the ground while you're holding the stretch. So what you're gonna do is put the band or the hair ties around both of your big toes and you'll spread your heels apart as tolerated. So the goal is for your big toes and heels to be aligned, and feel free to hold that stretch for about a minute. Now we'll move on to the foot strengthening exercises. The first one I'll show you is the toe yoga. With toe yoga, again, you can do it seated or standing. You're going to alternate lifting your big toe and then your little toes. Some common mistakes you want to avoid are scrunching your toes when you're lifting your toes and also lifting up your entire foot when you're doing it. If you have trouble doing this exercise, don't worry, you're not alone because a lot of us have actually lost that connection to our foot muscles due to modern footwear, and that is with me included. When I was younger, I would always wear shoes that were too tight, and now my toes are very lazy and they don't want to participate. Also, modern footwear also tends to taper at the forefoot, squishing our toes together, and that is also why so many of us, especially women, have bunions. A year ago, I would not have been able to show you this exercise at all, so I have come a long way. So bear with me with this demonstration since you may be able to do it a lot better than what I'm showing you right now. So in terms of sets and repetitions, you want to do about 2 sets of 10. And if you have trouble like me, keep practicing because it took me about a year to get to this place, so it's never too late to start. Our next strengthening exercise is towel scrunches. This exercise, again, you can do it seated or standing. Just make sure you do it on some hardwood floor and not on the carpet, since the carpet would have too much friction for the towel. You just place the towel on the ground, then use your toes to scrunch the towel and focus on activating those foot intrinsic muscles at the bottom of your foot. Do about 3 sets of 10 for this one, and let me know in the comments below were these exercises too easy for you or difficult. So there you have it. These are some of my favorite exercises to teach my clients to do if their plantar fasciitis is very painful and inflamed. I know a lot of you found me through my first plantar fasciitis video, and that is why I decided to make another one for those of you who might have found those first set of exercises too challenging. If you enjoyed the content and learned anything new, please help me out to get these videos out there by hitting the like button below. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe so you can keep up to date on my latest video releases so you can follow along and keep learning new things weekly. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time.